Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer will have the final say regarding the extradition of former regulator Leroy King. King is awaiting the decision from the Minister of External Affairs on whether he will stand trial in the United States for mail, wire and securities fraud, among other offenses. Elisa Graham has this story.
High Court Judge Justice Mario Mitchell dismissed King's judicial review application on Monday and upheld former Chief Magistrate Ivan Walter's decision to commit King to be extradited. The court also denied King's application to have the former Chief Magistrate committal order squashed. King was jointly charged with 4 others in 2009, including investor R. Alan Stanford, and indicted by a U.S. grand jury in Texas. Mitchell, during his hour-and-a-half-long judgment, said there had been ample evidence before the former Chief Magistrate to establish a prima facie case for wire fraud. He pointed to the evidence of former Stanford business partner and associate James Davis, U.S. District Attorney Greg Costa, and other documentary evidence. The judge disagreed with submissions by King's attorney, Dane Hamilton QC, that the case against the former head of the FSRC was unsupported hearsay. Mitchell instead agreed with arguments from the Director of Public Prosecutions, Anthony Armstrong, that there was independent evidence detailing King's participation in the alleged fraud. King's involvement in the matter was evident, according to Mitchell, by King's own actions and words, in that the defendant, Stanford International Bank Limited, in the face of mounting concerns from the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Hamilton's claim that the U.S. offenses with which King is being charged do not have similar offenses in Antigua and Barbuda, and was also dismissed by the court. Hamilton made application for bail on King's behalf on Monday, and his client was released on $500,000 with 2 sureties and a cash deposit of $110,000 required. King has to report daily to the St. John's police station and must not leave his Marina Bay home unless he's accompanied by one of his 2 sureties. For ABS News, Elisa Graham reporting.
Now, attempts to cover up R. Alan Stanford's alleged Ponzi scheme grew increasingly frantic as federal authorities closed in on the fraud. That's according to the financier's former chief financial officer, James Davis, whose testimony continued Monday. Davis told jurors that all of the efforts to hide the more than 20-year fraud were futile. As U.S. securities regulators began pressing for documentation of the bank's investment portfolio, he said Stanford designed a way to inflate the value of real estate and private equity holdings. Davis showed jurors how Stanford boosted the purported value of some island real estate by more than 5,000% to $3.2 billion in late 2008 when property values had dropped. When the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission issued subpoenas in January 2009, Stanford suggested that Davis provide regulators with the same report given to the regulators in Antigua that lists all the fictitious assets in the fictitious accounts. Stanford 61 denies all wrongdoing in connection with 14 criminal charges.